Patch notes. Earn King of the Hill. King of the Hill objective has been rethemed and renamed to Unstable Rift. Unstable Rift no longer requires an earn delivery to trigger the start of the event. It now has a variable start time of +1 or -1 minute. There's a global announcement 25 seconds before it spawns. 60 seconds before that, there's also an in-world only visual effect to let you know which lane it'll randomly spawn in. Unstable Rift spawn interval increases from every 6 minutes to every 7 minutes. Unstable Rift comeback bonuses resist in the area, extra comeback bounty, and trailing lane team claiming timer scale linearly based on the amount of NW they are trading. Right, NW they are trailing. Based on the amount of new net worth. Oh, net worth. The amount of net worth they are trailing scales from no bonus at 0% net worth behind to full bonus at 50% net worth behind. Okay, so this is what they should have done pretty much early on, right? If you're scaling and you're behind, the bonuses you get scale based on how far you are behind. Because what would happen is that, let's say you're a little bit far behind, and your souls are not at the best place they should be. If you wanted to get earn, it wouldn't be a comeback earn until you were far enough behind. If you weren't far enough behind, it would just be an even earn. And the idea is that you'd have to wait and be farther behind to get a comeback earn to get that. The team that secures the Unstable Rift now has also a wave of 5 Rift Troopers sent down from the Rift location when trailing spawns up to 12 Troopers instead, using the same linear ramp from 0% net worth, -50% net worth. There's like little shadow minion creatures that spawn from the portals and they run down the lane. In my head, I think this is the equivalent Rift Herald, I would say. Rift Herald equivalent in my head. That's what I'm thinking. Because what do you do when you capture Rift Herald? You just, all right, you have a pressure to push down a lane, you know? So it's kind of the same thing, right? Rift Troopers drop no souls when killed. Rift Troopers spawn with 100% extra health and damage. They also look larger and have custom VFX. Their bonus health and damage grows slightly per event. First one's 100%, then 120 and 140%. So this is why I figure this is kind of like Rift Herald, because they do have double the health and double damage. I mean, they're not anything crazy. Like if you can kill like a minion wave, it's like, it's whatever. But if you capture, if you get, let's say you fight over the rift and then the enemy team dies, you capture the rift, now you instantly have minions to go push that wave. So you probably should push the wave, but you probably don't have to, depending on how many people you kill. Earn Running is now its own objective. Spawns on either end of the map where the previous neutral pickup locations were and gets delivered to the opposite side. Spawns at 10, 15, 20, 25, etc. Pretty much exactly how it used to work. The old Earn is pretty much exactly how it used to work. Earn Runner is no longer revealed and is not disarmed or silenced. Going through a doorway or mirage upward still drops it. Earn cannot be manually dropped. It gets dropped when you get hit with a light or heavy melee, are stunned, or are killed. It stays where it drops and does not walk back home. Oh. Wait, so you can't drop it. Wait, that's weird. So you can't drop the Earn anymore. If you pick up the Earn, you have to hold on to it. I might grief some games because I accidentally pick up the Earn thinking I can drop it. Earn bounty value starts decaying after 45 seconds from being picked up. It drains gradually over another 45 seconds, and then the Earn is removed when the bounty is empty. So here's the thing. Because you can't drop the Earn, right? You can't drop the Earn at all. Within 45 seconds, if someone drops it off of you and no one grabs the Earn, it won't go back to its home base, and it's going to be losing souls. So eventually you might just be like, it's not even worth it. The Earn's just not worth it that much anymore. Just leave it. You know, no one's going to be able to get it at that point. We'll see how that plays out. It seems like it's going to perform pretty weirdly, but these are all brand new mechanics. So I'm excited for it because it's brand new, but we'll see. Earn is deposited immediately at the drop-off point, like old Earn. Earn bounty when deposited is worth 250 plus 70 souls a minute for just the Earn runner. Still has the comeback bounty component. Earned upon deposit, all the souls are released as orbs in the air. If another ally secures the orbs, they share the bounty with the Earn runner. Wait. Earn bounty when deposited is worth souls for just the Earn runner. Upon deposit, all of the souls are released as orbs into the air. So when you dunk it, all of these souls are going to fly, and if they fly up, only the person who's carrying the Earn gets the money. So it's not a team objective anymore to contest. That's weird. Earn runner gets +4 for permanent buffs on deposit. Wait, so you do get the permanent buffs still. Earn is now louder when it talks and is easier to hear by nearby enemies. After 3 minutes from spawn, the Earn will start walking very slowly on his own towards... after 3 minutes from spawn, the Earn will start walking very slowly on his own towards the deposit location. So if you ignore the Earn, it will start moving on its own. Okay. So I'm thinking this is the way that, like, what they used to do was they wanted to change the way the Earn works so more people would get into using it and, like, actively engaging with it. So now it's like if these new Earn changes, people still aren't interacting with it because it's like the old Earn, it's going to start running on its own to the capture zone. So it's going to get easier to capture. So if no one can test it, it's going to be a way easier contest for either team. That's very strange. We'll see how that works. it's going to be very weird because then it's like if only one person on the team can get the urn, it's going to be weird because then it's like, who's going to get the urn? Who do you want to grab urn? You know, it's not going to be a team thing anymore. So it's like, if whoever grabs urn, it's going to be good for the one person who runs it. That's weird. That's very weird, but we will see it. Yeah, so that's the big changes. Urn is back and there's a third objective. So we'll see how these play out. Very weird. I need a Death View video instantly. I need a Death View or A-Shire's video right now. Reworked boon reward table. Okay. When you get boons to unlock your abilities, it's back to the old soul count where you max out your boons at 48,000 rather than 40,000. Because it used to be 40,000, and if you got to 40,000, you had all your max boons. Now you have to get all the way up to 48,000 to have max boons. That's okay. That's cool. Health per boon reduced by 5%. Yes, bro. Everyone's getting way too tanky. Everyone's getting way too tanky. It's been insane. So thank goodness. Less health. Thank goodness. All ultimate base and upgrade cooldowns nerfed by 15%. All ult cooldowns are going to take longer because they said they've been nerfed by 15%. So they're going to take 15% longer to come up. So if I ult as Lash, now my cooldown's 170 seconds. I don't know what it was before, but I think it was like 150 or something like that, 155, something like that. So now it's going to be even longer. So there's going to be less cooldowns or less ultimate abilities across the board. I do kind of like that because there was a lot of ability spam. People just have ults up often. So now with them being longer, you can actually like push other objectives and other waves and other stuff when you know the enemy doesn't have their ult. Because like, oh, the enemy doesn't have the ult, we can safely push this. That sounds pretty good. Rejuve buff duration reduced from 4 minutes to 3. So this is another big one. When you got the Rejuve from mid-boss, before you would have it for 4 minutes to be able to push objectives. Now it's only 3. So if you get the Rejuve, you really need to make sure you do something with it. That's 1 less minute to be able to have pressure on the entire map. Whoever gets Rejuve is just going to be not nearly as Thanos as they used to be. On one hand, it's like it's nice that if you're behind and the winning team just keeps gaining Rejuve, you don't have to worry about it nearly as much, but at the same time, it also does not benefit people who are already doing good. It punishes them for doing good and playing as a team and stuff like that. Guardian bounty reduced from 15 to 1250. Walker bounty reduced from 4,000 to 3,500. First blood bounty reduced from 150 to 125. Base kill bounty reduced from 250 to 200. Max is still 2,200 at 40 minutes. Trooper bounty rescale from 116 to 100 plus 2 souls a minute. Less before 20 minutes, more after. Trooper bounty ratio in the deniable flying orb increased from 40 to 50%. Minimum unsecured souls allowed to drop reduced from 150 to 50 plus 5 minutes. So there's going to be less economy in the game from now on. And I think this is to the fact that they have a third objective now. They have a third objective, which is more souls. So this is kind of compensating for that. There's going to be less money for everyone around. And I think it's going to help with steamrolling too. Because that was my problem with the game, is that steamrolling was, it pretty much was always a steamroll. If you're winning, you'd steamroll into the late game. You won late game. If you were losing, you couldn't get back into the game ever, and the enemy team would just kill you every single time. It was a problem that I felt, and it was kind of killing my enthusiasm to play this game. So I'm glad that that's less of a thing. Dash jump distance increased from 18 meters to 19 meters, and vertical impulse increased from 400 to 425. So now you're going to go farther with your dash jump. I felt this already earlier when I was just hopping on earlier to test this. Your dash jump goes further and it goes higher. So it's going to be a way more of effective movement. Pads on top of the double center buildings have been removed. So I saw this above your doubles. Hovering an item in the shop now shows you a preview of your investment bars. This is actually pretty nice too. When you go to shop, now on your bottom left where you see the spikes, if you hover over item, you can see how much investment it's actually giving you from each item. Street Brawl, don't care about that. Items, Mystic Shot, cooldown increased. Toxic bleed damage increased. Scourge max health DPS reduced from 3.5 to 2.6. Max health DPS now scales with Spirit Power. Heroes, Abram, Siphon Life reduced from 3 to 2 radius. Shoulder Charge, tier 3 reduced from 20 second to 18 second cooldown. Alright, so Abram's had a little bit of a tuning, so his Siphon Life does not get near as much of a range at tier 3, but his Shoulder Charge does have a shorter cooldown. So it's kind of like not a buff, it's like a side grade. Paul Repost increased from 7 seconds to 8 seconds. Grace window to target after channel increased from 1 to 1.3. Repost cast range increased from 25 meters to 35 meters. That's a lot. That is a lot of extra cast range, which is going to be crazy. Billy bullet damage per boon reduced by 10%. That's pretty noticeable. That's pretty noticeable for gun damage on Billy. Bash down melee scaling, they reduced from 1.1 to 0.9. Bash down tier 3 reduced from 6% melee damage to 50%. Rising ram damage reduced from 10% to 8%. Damage spirit scaling increased from 0.17 to 0.35. Okay, Celeste, Dazzling Trick cooldown reduced. Radiant Dagger's buff duration increased. Radiant Dagger's Spirit Scaling increased. Shining Wonder bounce range increased. Shining Wonder damage increased by 10%. So just buffs to Celeste. Now, she's not nearly as annoying of a character as she used to be, so I think these buffs are fine, because when I go against a Celeste, I'm not nearly as scared as I used to be. Doorman, doorway cooldown increased from 40 seconds to 45 seconds, so another nerf to Doorman, so he has less doors. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong, I like Doorman, but like the door part of his kit was pretty bad. Drifter got a pretty big buff. There's so many changes here. I kind of want to skip through these because of how much is actually here. From like some of these being like crazy good. If I was trying to learn to play Drifter, I'm sure I can feel that, but other people can play Drifter as well. Dynamo Rejuvenate Aurora Generation increased from 25 seconds to 30 a second. Nice. That's heal up a lot more. Great Talon rate of arrows cooldown increased from 23 to 25, and Gaia Owl Permanent Spirit Bows reduced from 10 to 8. Nice. Great Talon was kind of a nightmare. All right, so that's nice. Holiday Powder Keg velocity reduced slightly. Powder Keg charge delay increased from 7 to 7.5. Spirit's gonna reduce from 0.4 to 0.12. Tier 3 reduced from 100 damage to 80. So crazy nerfs to Holiday. I mean, she shot up all the way to S tier, and now she's like, whatever, right? Hey, Sleep Dagger increased from negative 8% bull resist to 10%. Sleep Dagger increased from 70 seconds to 98 seconds. I'm getting stupid. Sleep Dagger increased from negative 17 second cooldown to 18 second cooldown. Smoke Bomb increased from 40% bullet to 50%. So buffs to Haze. I don't know if she needs them, but you know, if other people are saying she needs them, then she needs them. I don't know about that. Ivy and Takeaway Thorn Spirit Scaling increase. Kudzu Connection Replicated Healing per Boon Scale increased from 0.5 to 0.85. Airdrop cooldown reduction when used on allies increased from 25% to 30%. Okay, so just buffs to Ivy. Here we go. Lash. Ground Strike cooldown reduced from 12 seconds to 18 seconds. Good. Fog Angle increased from 30 to 38. So, yes. Mina Rake Missing Health as damage increased from 5 to 6. Sanguine Retreat also increases by range by 3 meters. Nox Nostra damage increased. Tier 1 damage increased. So, buffs to Mina. Her escape is better, and her ult does more damage. Bone Kill Sandblast slow increased. Sandblast increased from 20 second cooldown to negative 25 second cooldown. Combo bonus max health per kill increased from 30 plus 1 boon to 40 plus 2 boon. Is gonna be crazy. Paige got a good amount of buffs just to help her because her win rate was pretty darn low. So that's good. I think that's pretty good. Paradox now also increases move speed spirit scaling. Hate that. Kinetic Carbine changed from affecting max damage scaling to affecting both minimum and max damage scaling. I think that's a buff to Paradox. 7 lightning ball charge delay reduced from 7 seconds to 6 seconds. Storm Cloud time to expand increased from 1.5 to 3.5. Nice. His ult is not gonna has a little bit of a wind up now. That's good. That's 2 seconds actually do help a lot. Especially if you're in a lane, that helps a lot. Storm Cloud damage interval increased from 0.25 seconds to 3. Nice. Wait, DPS unchanged. Lightning Bolt charge delay reduced. So we're buffing 7. No. So we're buffing 7. We're giving 7 a buff. Because he 7 really needed a buff. He was on the weaker side of characters. 7 really needed a buff, I'm hearing. I don't understand this change at all. That sounds horrible. Because I was like, okay, cool. This, nice. But now look at this. Alt-fire damage now has a custom value per boon, so his alt-fire does more damage per boon. Alt-fire ammo consumed per shot is increased from 3 to 5, so his alt-fire does a lot of damage. I mean, did anyone even use the alt-fire on Shiv, like, actually, other than just going for movement? So maybe that's what it's like. It should actually use it for damage now. Vindicta Stake reduced from 20 to 22 seconds. Horrible. Crow Familiar increased from 12 seconds to 6 seconds. Okay, that's fair. Collision radius between each crow increased slightly. Bad, I think, right? Assassinate Max Exponential Spirit increased from 2 to 2.3. So she got buffed, but I mean, she kind of falls off in the later game if you can get to late game, so I guess that's just helping with that. But Wither tier 3 spirit scaling increased from 0.6 to 0.8. So Viper got buffed. Don't know how I feel about that. Alright, that's the patch notes. Lots of balance changes, but man, these earn changes are insane. I have to experience this. I have to see what's going on here because this is gonna be crazy, bro. We'll see what happens though. So next time, more Deadlock, more DionHyper, more patch notes. Next time, we're gonna see how crazy this gets, man. This is gonna change a lot for sure. Like, a lot. That's it. Thank you for watching.
Goodbye. Thank you for watching my YouTube video.